And there's comments. There we go. The comments.
Hello, Evelyn. First of all, welcome, Elaina. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And this young lady, Miss Evelyn, is the one that recommended you to me. She says, hello, friends. Happy Friday. Looking forward to this live. And this is
Thank
Andy. This is Andy. Thought I was late, but early. I'll be cleaning the room, but listening when it starts. This is Lynn. Hello, everybody, this evening. This is Rick, Twin Brook Acres, who something happened and had to leave. So hopefully he'll be back.
Yes, I hope all is well for you.
Yes, really. And I believe this is my grandson. I don't know who this is.
Well, hello, Ace.
I have 5 grandchildren, and one of them changes his name on here all the time. So I don't know who it is. Brenda, hello. Thank you for joining us. And Rick is back. Hope everything is okay. Debbie Savings is here. And yes. So, Elaina, what got you started with keto or ketovore, carnivore, whichever way of eating you are doing, and what you're doing now, and the health benefits you have seen and gotten from that?
Yeah, so my story goes way back. I'm kind of an OG in the keto space. I've been around since 2014. It all started when, so I had gotten clean off of some severe drug addiction. I was a meth addict for 15 years. I started at 15 years old. I was a child and went until I was 30. And at about 24 or 25, I had gotten the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, and I didn't care, because when you're actively in addiction, you don't really care about your health. So I let it go uncontrolled for many years, and I continued to gain weight. My cycles would be using sugar and then using drugs, and then using sugar and using drugs. I would use the sugar when I would come down off of the drugs, and so I was constantly gaining weight because of how severely insulin resistant I was. Before all of the drug years had started, I was also a very sick and morbidly obese child in school. So I had to be pulled out of public school in the 7th grade because I was unable to meet attendance requirements. And that was putting my mom at risk. And so she pulled me out of school, and I was doing homeschool at that point. And I didn't have energy because of how sick I had spent my childhood. So that's kind of how it was so easy for me to get hooked on all of the hard stuff, was because somebody gave it to me once and I felt energy, and I was like, boom, all of that energy that you would feel as a child hit me, and I just rolled with it for 15 years. So I made it to 30 years old, and at 30, I was like, I'm alive. I shouldn't be, but I'm alive. What am I going to do now? And it was kind of like a big breaking point. And I decided, that I was going to get my life together. So, of course, the first thing to go was the drugs. And then it was sugar. That was next. And it's because I had made a post on Facebook. Gotta love Facebook. And I was like, so I know I'm diabetic because I was diagnosed all these years ago, but I haven't done anything about it. I don't want to go to the doctors, because I knew doctors would probably put me on insulin, which means needles. And I knew that that was not a smart time in my life to have needles around. And I would just ask them, like, so ice cream, because I liked having ice cream every night after dinner. God, this just is bringing back those memories. And I was like, the sugar-free stuff with all the chemicals, or the sugar stuff that spikes your blood sugar? What would you guys recommend? And people on Facebook were like, check your blood sugar. Like, just get an inexpensive meter and see what your blood sugar is and make your own determination. So I ordered one that night, and when it showed up, my very first blood sugar test was 426. Never forget that.
Oh, my word.
It was over 300 pounds, and I was like, okay. So then I get back on Facebook, and I went to an essential oils group because I had found my way to essential oils anyway. and was like, so how can I control my blood sugar naturally? Because I don't want to go to the doctor for this. And luckily, instead of being an MLM company, I have dogs, and trying to sell me a miracle oil, they told me to go check out a Facebook group. Hey, not a bean. And the Facebook group that I went to immediately was like, you have to go keto. And it all started there. Like, it was amazing. So I was super strict keto, super high fat. I dropped 80 pounds in the first, like, probably 9 months. And I was eating well over 2,000 calories a day. It's super high fat. Like, it was crazy. Wow. It was insane. And then it all just evolved from there. So, yeah, nice. That's how I got started.
So what, and when was it you started keto again?
So that was 2014.
Okay. And you've been doing it ever since. What does a typical day of eating look like for you now?
So for me now, it's definitely a lot lower in the fat, because I was basically fat loading when I started. And now I prioritize the protein, of course, and I do add fats, because fats are very important for women, especially in hormones around our cycle. And then I will do, some days are lower carb. So I've definitely evolved. My blood sugar is normal now, and I still test it like 5 times a day. I have all these years. Some people in the keto space, they stop testing, and I just feel like if I stop testing, I'm going to give myself permission to start screwing up. So I'm afraid to do that. But I can add in carbs around my cycle, because like that kind of helps to boost your progesterone when you start adding a little bit of carbohydrate within like 10 days of your period. And I can do like roasted beets, obviously not pickled beets because of all the sugar. I can do some squash. What else? I love mushrooms, but they don't really have enough carbs for that little progesterone boost. But those are, so a normal day when I'm not having the higher carbs is my veggies are mostly like green beans, mushrooms, garlic. I'm obsessed with garlic, and I love hot peppers. And then if I'm trying to boost up the progesterone around the cycle, I'll do the beets, pumpkin. I love pureed pumpkin with cayenne pepper. It's so good.
Really?
And butternut squash is another good one. Every now and then I'll have a little bit of sweet potato, but even that will spike me if I go crazy with it, so I don't eat like the whole potato.
Right. I totally get it with blood sugars. My husband is a type 1 diabetic, and he doesn't have any choice but to keep an eye on that, because that can really get out of control. But going from 400 glucose to normal range, that's impressive. How long did it take to get there when you started in 14?
So it would have been, to get it, the first year, my biggest goal was to get it under the 140. And then within the, by the second year, I was consistently seeing under 120. So I wasn't one of those people that's like, boom, 2 months later, I have normal blood sugar. It was hard, but I suspect that I was probably diabetic at about 12 years old based on how big I was at that age and how sick. But they weren't testing kids back then. I was one of those 90s kids that was super morbidly obese.
Right. I get it. It's like I'm trying to turn the volume down on my phone. It just went bing. But
okay.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. To go from 400 to 120 in a year and a half, that's fantastic.
It took work.
It does work. I started keto myself 4+ years ago, and it's just been incredible ever since. So yeah.
Yeah, and like nowadays, like I said, so because of the carbs on some days, and then some days I'm completely carnivore, and I'm not doing that. I'm not making this active choice. Like I don't wake up in the morning and be like, okay, today I'm going to be carnivore. Today I'm going to just be low carb, or today I'm going to be keto. So I think the biggest breaking point for me over these last 2 years, as far as making further progress and further health goals, is to really start tuning into my body. So tuning into my body and really understanding and listening to what my body is saying instead of what my brain is saying, and also not listening to what all the people on the internet are doing. So the
Absolutely.
internet is fabulous, and I love social media for all that it has given me and provided me. But when we try and do the exact same thing as somebody else, and I tell this to my clients because I'm a coach now too, it doesn't work that way because we
No.
are all individual. We all have a different story. So you should never expect the exact same results. We really have to tune in and learn how to listen to our body.
Right. Because what we say this all the time in here, whatever works for one doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Everybody's metabolism is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's journey is different. Like I'm 66 years old. I'm way beyond all them female things like 30 years ago because I had to have a hysterectomy long time ago. So I don't have to deal with all that. But I'll tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy. The people that do say, "Oh, you're doing this wrong," maybe for you, I may be doing it wrong, but for me, no. So yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
Well, yeah, and then it also has to evolve. So if I was doing the exact same thing today that I did when I started in 2014, I would not have these results at all.
Right. You gotta change things up.
Yeah.
Yep. You do.
Especially
Otherwise your
fat
body
loading.
gets
I
so
think
used to it. I'm
the
sorry.
fat loading that I did in the beginning. So I look at that now and it's almost like cringeworthy.
Yeah.
It serves a purpose in the beginning, because we really do need to load our body with fats and help it learn how to burn all that fat. But when you get stuck like doing that and you're just massively fat loading, I mean, I wasn't just having, like 75 or 100 grams of fat. That's probably more like what I do now. I was pushing like 300 grams of fat in a day, no problem.
And it's so easy to do depending on what you're eating. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'll go through here real quick, see where I left off. Hi, Rick. I'll make sure there's no questions. If anybody has any questions for Elaina, throw them in the chat. Debbie, Brenda Foley's here. Carl's here. This is Evelyn's husband.
I like his name, Carl Keto Dog.
Yeah. If everything was okay, I was having trouble with the chat. Oh, I'm glad everything's good. This is James. Snowy night. Yep, it's snowing here too. Lynn saying hello to everybody. Sherry's here. I'm going to listen while I make supper. What's for supper, Sherry? That's inquiring minds want to know.
I noticed hers is Nevada pup. Is she in Vegas? I'm in Vegas.
That was actually her pup. She's in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
It's
a Nevada
okay.
pup, so I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I know. That gets me every time, and I have to remember she's in Arizona.
That's not far.
No. Lynette is here. Hello, Lynette.
Hello.
The keto chow world's gonna be so sad.
I know. It's gonna be so crazy. Like, I just can't even imagine the booths without Lynette. Like,
you're right. You're right. She is just amazing. I am well. But could you please tell me your name? I know this person's name isn't Ace Flaw. Hello, Lisa. How are you? And then everybody saying hello. A lot. And more highs. Hello, good to see you today. Nips, nips, yips, yips. That's a dog. Amazing. You go, girl. That's right.
Thank you, Brenda.
Yes. Cindy Jerry got feeling better, feeling worse today. He said, tell all of you hello. Well, tell Jerry we said hello. That's her husband.
Hi, Jerry.
I'm very blessed by Keto Wang's story because my husband is recovering from addiction. He's sitting in the same room with me saying, wow.
Oh, well, I'm proud of your husband for recovering as well. This is not an easy path to walk, Evelyn. So I hope he just heard that. I'm proud of you for doing it, Evelyn's husband. It's amazing, life changing. It's
Yep.
hard in the beginning, but you won't regret it.
Yep. My granddaughter saying hi.
Hello.
She made me a great grandmother December 13th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You're snowed in. Wow. I don't want that much. So proud of Carl and Elaina. Yes. And we were talking a little bit backstage. And I told you I had my son on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
He got clean from pain pills. And he, thankfully, he did it on his own. He is doing so much better now. It's like, and it definitely wasn't easy for him.
No, it never is, but I'm also really proud of him too. I also did it on my own. So it was, and another kind of crazy thing. So anybody who's followed me is familiar with Mr. Baby. That's what I refer to my husband as. You'll probably even catch a glimpse of him at some point. He'll be home. But Mr. Baby and I did it together, and that rarely happens. Most people on the path, they have to kind of split and go their separate ways because they constantly enable each other. And we kind of made a pact, and we made it out, and we made it through. And it's just crazy looking back at it now. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you got to wonder, would we even still be here if we hadn't?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know my son was, it was pretty bad. Naomi, everyone give a thumbs up. Yes, please. This is my sister, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Jason Keto and more. Good evening. Good evening. Hi, Rick. Hey, Jason. Everybody's just saying hi. Nevada was the dog. She was the famous underwater diving dog, all trained that came out of an injury.
That's awesome.
Supper is chicken stir fry, ketoized, of course. Yes, sounds good. Sounds good. And everybody's still saying hello. This is Stacy, easy peasy keto. How are you feeling? Yep. Kevin says hi to me. Thank you. So you have gone through a lot. The rehab first. I mean, that's just, I can only imagine. Thankfully, I never went down that road myself, but I've seen it firsthand with my son. Different substances, but same effects.
Yeah, still a nightmare.
he was just out of, very belligerent with me, and he's not like that. And I don't even have the words, except great job, because I know it had to be difficult. I've seen it.
Was, yeah.
Yeah. So you said you do coaching.
Yeah, so I've been coaching full time for this is 2025, and I started in 2017. So, what is that? Like 8 years now that I've been coaching full time. My coaching has also evolved quite a bit over the years. So when I started, it was like super strict keto coach. This is the way. And as I learned myself and I grew, so did my coaching. So I coach basically all real whole food approaches, including those who are not even keto or low carb, except for veganism. And, I'm not here to bash vegans. I'm just not educated enough with the supplementation required for a healthy vegan. And that's why I draw the line there.
Right.
Even those who are like still eating bread and noodles and grains, we find different swaps to find them healthier options, even though it's stuff that I can't do. But for the most part, it's just like low carb and carnivore, and then keto, of course. And then a lot of people, I found my most successful clients over the last year is actually ripping the diet label off of it. It's like, so we're going to take all the pressure away from you by ripping the diet label off of what you're doing and really focusing in on what your body wants. And that's where I'm seeing the most success right now. And then in 2023, I became a nutritional therapy practitioner with the Nutritional Therapy Association. And then I ended up completing the integrative medicine practitioner for PTSD and complex trauma. And I did that because a lot of the clients that were attracted to working with me come from a history of trauma and addiction, of course, because they go hand in hand. Like, you don't come out of addiction without some trauma. And then childhood trauma and abuse, because I kind of have a history of that as well. So I wanted to know how to serve them better professionally. So I put that in with my coaching and do weekly calls with some people on trauma who aren't even focused on nutrition, because we have to get them past the traumatic experiences before we can even consider food changes. And then last year, I got heavy into the biohacking and peptide world. Peptides are amazing. So I became certified with Dr. Seed's SSRP program and peptides. And that's just been fun. I'm obsessed with them right now. And not just like, so most people are like, oh, peptides, Ozempic. So, I mean, yes, I know that one well, because obviously my history of diabetes and working with diabetic clients, that's been around since the beginning. Mostly the approaches I was taught with that was microdosing, not the medical stuff people are doing now. But my favorites are like injury repair, gut healing, skin, hair, nails, like all of the fun stuff, not just weight loss. And there's a whole world of it out there. There's over 7,000 naturally occurring peptides in our body. It's fascinating, but they don't have that many synthetic ones yet.
Right. Evelyn has a question. She said, my husband says almost every day that sugar was harder to overcome than drinking and drugs. What are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. So when you give up sugar, people around you are like, what are you doing? Society is like, what are you doing? And everywhere you look, you can buy it. You don't go to prison for it. Nobody's shaming you for doing it. You don't have to hide it. So the alcohol is also a little bit more tricky than the drugs. The drugs are probably, the meth was one of the easiest ones. And that doesn't mean it was easy, but out of all the addictions, it was the easiest one to give up because people are so proud of you when you do it. And you feel proud of yourself. And even though the addiction has a hold on you, that pride can really get you through. One thing I've told people forever is make choices you can be proud of, because pride feels better than regret. So when you're proud of yourself and other people are proud of you, it inspires you to keep going. And then you go and like you try to quit eating sugar, or you try to quit drinking alcohol, and everybody's giving you the side eye. They're like, why would you do that? And I think that's the reason it makes it hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of all that, so 2021, because I drank for a while, I picked up vodka mid keto journey, and I was drinking because, it's not meth, it's vodka. Vodka is keto-ish. I don't believe that myself now, but I did then because I was drinking it straight. I wasn't mixing it with anything. And I come from a very long line of alcoholics on my Wang side. My last name's Wang, and I'm the only one who's made it out of alcoholism and addiction. But it got to where I was drinking large quantities and everything was fine. I was functioning fine. I wasn't ruining my life. And then my pancreas decided that it was angry, and I was hospitalized for a week with pancreatitis. So that was after overindulging with vodka and dairy. So the two of them together, because traditional store-bought dairy really bothers my body. It inflames me. And the two of them together landed me in the hospital for a week with massive pancreatitis. I'll never forget. I was in this emergency room in Las Vegas and they admit me, and I was in there, and a doctor came in after like 2 or 3 days, and he was like, well, this was induced from, the inflammation from the dairy or whatever, and your vodka drinking on top of it. And he's like, you'd be able to eat dairy, but if you can go 6 months and not have your pancreas react again, you can go ahead and start drinking again. And I made the decision right there that I would never drink again. I was like, absolutely.
Wow.
Like, no. Yeah.
No
So if
dairy, but go ahead and drink.
Yeah. And the pancreatitis, like, if it wasn't for that, I would probably still be drinking.
Wow.
So, yeah.
My heart goes to you, not only due to addiction, but ACEs as well.
Thank you. I know what ACEs are. Adverse childhood, I think, experiences.
I also came from a long line of drug and alcohol abusers, so I just never walked that path, guessing I saved myself. Yes.
You definitely saved yourself, and good job. I knew better when I was doing all of this stuff. I was raised better than that by my mom. My mom took me across the state of Washington, where I was born, to get me away from the side of the family that was heavy into drugs and alcohol. And still, I went for it.
Mm-hmm. It's whatever they say. What you live through is who you are, and it makes you who you are. And it's like it can be really, really tough, or you learn from and you follow on with what they're doing, or you learn from their mistakes and try to do better for yourself. And sometimes I can imagine that is just a hard battle within yourself to accomplish. And I can't even imagine. 0 carb alcohol, substituting one drug for another. We were warned about that in addiction counseling. Sugar became my substitute as I got sober. Now I'm fighting with sugar. Well, punch it right in the face, Carl.
Yeah. And that's, good job, Carl, because that is, the easiest way to go for a lot of people giving up drinking. This is also why so many rehabilitation centers actually provide so much sugar, is because it keeps the brain going. It gives them that dopamine hit. But, you can do this. You could do this. You're keto Carl dog. You've got this.
Right. This is Karen. Hi, Cindy, and everyone finally made it home. Going to have to catch the replay. Yes. Thank you. I'm the baby of the family, including the cousins. I watched them destroy their lives and said to myself, nope, not going there.
Good job. You should be very proud of that, Sherry.
Yeah. Are you willing to share any tattoo stories? I know you have a few, just a few from what I can tell.
Yeah, I have a lot of tattoos.
My son does too, and he gives them.
So. Here we go. So this is all just, my sleeves, my octopus up here. So let's see if we can, so you can kind of see some tentacles right there. It's really hard with the camera angle. But there's an eye, like right here on my forearm. That's really difficult. This is probably my favorite. Oh, this way, the jewel. So over here, this blackout spot with the white, when I was on drugs, I let a guy who was fresh out of prison with a guitar string and a VCR gun, old school. And he tore up this whole area. It was like raw. And then years later, when I got clean, I had a real artist do a freehand thing on it. And then my artist that I have here in Vegas, she had done this. And this, oh, there we go. That's absolutely beautiful. And I was like, well, how can we ever make them match? And because of how deep this was with the scar tissue, because the guy with the guitar string was using Bic ink. So I have Bic ink in there. And we just couldn't get it to match. So I was like, let's just black it out and make it matchy with the white. So it's hard to see in the camera, but the white over the black kind of has the same design as the flowers over here. So that's really pretty. I have succulent from Thailand. I had it done by an Ajarn who is trained by a monk. I can't really show that one because it's like right there under my boobs and we're on the internet. But it's a blessed tattoo, and there's rules that go along with traditional succulent. You can't lie, you can't steal, you can't kill, and this includes like bugs. So if there's a fly in my RV, I open the door and let it out now. You can't kill. There's no murdering with succulent. No cheating. So there's one more. No lies. Oh, you can't get you can't get drunk, you can't get high. You have to be sober minded. And I really fell in love with those 5 rules of the succulent. And so when I went to Thailand for my 40th birthday last year, I had been seeking out this artist who could do it traditional. And he did it by hand poked. It's not done with a tattoo gun. And had my blessed tattoo done. And that was a really beautiful experience. And then I have cactus flowers on my butt cheek that are from the cactus that we have growing outside. My husband grows some cactuses, and he has one that blooms every year, and the blooms are big and beautiful. And so I got those on the butt cheek. And when we were in England, which is where he was from, we went to a small tattoo shop in his hometown. And I had him write out Mr. Baby, because that's what I call him, on a piece of paper. And we got Mr. Baby and his handwriting tattooed on my butt cheek and then the cactus flowers are like all around it. But yeah, I do have marijuana leaves on my thighs. And like, it's kind of contradictory, especially me sitting here talking about addiction and recovery. I don't regret those at all, even though it's not really included in my life anymore. But I did rely heavily on it in the beginning of getting sober, and then I let it go. So it served a therapeutic purpose in my life, but I definitely am not one that's still using or thinking that everybody should be doing it every day all of their life. Therapeutically, yes. Recreationally, let's chill a little bit. Let's be sober-minded.
Yes. Probably I'm the only one left alive except my daughter, who also never drank. Over the past year, I have done extensive research on dopamine signaling, preconception, and ACEs. Profound impacts on your lifespan. Of course.
Yeah.
To understand probably more than you realize. Are you on Facebook? I don't know if I'm following you. Talking to Sherry. So you look like a beautiful garden. You are the prettiest flower.
Thank you.
Any information about peptides helping with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue?
Absolutely. So, of course, nutritional things have to be dialed in first, because peptides can't even help somebody who hasn't nutritionally started to change things. This includes like also their sleep habits, all of that. But judging by your name, Carnivore K, you've probably already started down that nutritional path, but I do like to start there. There's a lot of amazing information about lowering the inflammation. So like BPC-157 is a really powerful one for helping repair the body. BPC literally stands for body protective compound. Like, it's that amazing. And it's a pretty safe peptide. And then in the chronic fatigue, so there's a lot of mitochondrial peptides that people are using. So SS31 is a common one that people use before they start introducing things like the MOTS-C, and that kind of prepares your mitochondria to be able to utilize the the Mott-C better. Mott-C is really amazing, so I'm fascinated by it. It can help with the chronic fatigue, but also it helps increase insulin sensitivity. So I found that to be really fascinating tidbit about it. But literally, it's helping your mitochondria to be healthier, and when we have a healthy mitochondria, we really start to heal the body and help with the fatigue and the fibromyalgia. There's other vitamin and amino blends. Like, I have slides and little pamphlets on this. I don't want to go like too deep because it's not exactly FDA approved. So I'll leave it kind of at that because we're live on YouTube.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
To keep my channel going.
Yes, and everything I do has nothing to do with Cindy.
Sherry said, you mentioned a motorhome. Are you a van lifer or is it just for recreation?
So I am in a fifth wheel, and it is for life. Like, I have never lived other than my mom's house as a child. I've never lived in a house or rented a house. I've never been in an apartment, never been in a condo. I have been living full-time RV life for 16 years now, 17 years now. But we stay stationary in Las Vegas. So I do travel frequently, but it's typically in an airplane and motels, and our RV stays here at the Las Vegas RV Resort.
Yeah, she was just gone, just came back today.
I came back yesterday, so I was in Ohio, and it was snowy and cold, and I hated that. But no, my best friend, who's like my sister, and I met her through the ketogenic lifestyle and on Facebook, and we have bonded. Like, we are inseparable. And she just had a baby, and I went to go be with her. So she did a home birth, and I got to stay with her for like 3 weeks and make sure that she was adjusting because it was her first baby. And yeah, I'm so glad to be home in the sunshine, though. I don't know how you people live in the snow.
I'm from Kentucky. A lot of these people in the chat are from Ohio and Chicago, Arizona. Yeah, there's a lot. Kay, I think, is from Tennessee. Yeah. My sister is South Carolina. Yeah. But everybody else is in the cold zones.
I hate it. I used to handle cold super well, especially when I was bigger. But I think living in an RV here in the desert has kind of adapted me to the heat to the point where I am just not cold tolerant at all. I'm afraid of being cold.
I follow a few van lifers on YouTube. I want a van to travel to dog shows with the dogs. Just need to win the lottery first.
Yeah, so those vans,
don't we all, Sherry?
They're amazing. Like, the vans are just beautiful. I see a lot of them here in the resort, but honestly, a lot of the travel vans that people travel with are more expensive than real RVs. It's insane.
Debbie said, Elaina, yes, I would like to hear more about peptides, please. Now, as she just said,
so well, I'll just do basic. I won't contradict anything or say anything wrong. Peptides are amino acids. So we have over 7,000 naturally occurring peptides in our body. And they're short chain. So it's they're like anywhere from, they have fragments of 1 to 2, and then it goes up to like 35, but they're literally just amino acids is all they are. So there is Dr. Kavasin, who was a Russian scientist who was given unlimited funding, did a lot of amazing research on peptides, and that's where a lot of the ones on the market now were discovered, was through Dr. Kavasin. Also bioregulators, which are another amazing tool for people that target specific organs of the body. But there's some, if anybody looks up Dr. Kavasin, you'll see that he could even bring astronauts back from space to Russia and restore their health using peptides. Like, amazing stuff. They're very powerful, and because they're naturally occurring, our bodies know what to do with them. So it's not like medication. When you're given a medication, you take a specific dose, and like, if you take too much, it's bad. If you don't take enough, your body doesn't notice. I mean, there's suggestions and recommendations, but it's not something aside from the GLPs, they definitely are overdosing on. But most other peptides, your body knows what to do with it. And when it has had enough of it, it's not causing damage, it's not, but the GLPs, because of the way the medical system is using those, that's why people are getting so sick. Which is why the biohacking world teaches a different approach with it. But yeah, I won't take it beyond that because, again, Cindy's live is important. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me, though.
I appreciate that. Evelyn says, where in Ohio, when are you coming back? We're currently under a level 1 because of our snowstorm.
So when I come to Ohio, I fly into Cleveland, and I'm around like the Medina area and LaGrange. And I'll be back, like, I don't know exactly when I'm coming. I go a few times a year, though, because she's like my best friend in the whole world, and I can't just not see her, especially now that she had the baby.
Right.
My little nephew. And she did that pregnancy, keto, carnivore. She is breastfeeding, keto, carnivore, and has an oversupply of milk. So anybody who ever tells you it can't be done, it can be done.
I'll tell you, I told you that I have a great grandson that was just born December 13th. My granddaughter, this child is so stubborn, he will not nurse, but she pumps faithfully.
Yeah.
Every couple hours and strictly feeds him her milk. But he don't want anything to do with her.
Yeah, so my friend is basically doing the same.
Her.
Yeah, so she's pumping the same religiously every 2 hours. So her baby boy is kind of an aggressive eater. He's a bit of a biter, and she's got a little bit of trauma from that.
Well, she did say the one time he did, it hurt. So she's like, but now he don't want anything to do with it. He'll give him the bottle, he's fine. But that's all he's getting is her breast milk.
Yep, same for this one. His name's Atlas, little baby Atlas, my little nephew. He was born with a full head of blonde hair.
Yep, that's cute. Carnivore K is in western North Carolina. They're snowed in. Eesh. How much snow? It's still snowing here, 28 degrees here in Kentucky. Yeah, 3 to 4 inches and getting icy. The other day we had a few inches of snow with ice on top of that. It was just horrible. Today, it's, as far as I know, it's just been snowing. I don't like cold and snow, but you're living in the wrong place, Debbie. It's awful about the fires in California. Yes.
It's devastating. I love California. I know a lot of people don't, so sorry. I love California a lot. And my heart is like shattered right now, but
yeah, this would probably be the only reason I wouldn't like California is the fires. Yeah. They're so frequent.
Yeah.
That's terrible. They are outrageous expensive. That is why I said I needed to win the lottery. I'm a native Californian and watching the fires burn down my friends' homes. I'm so sorry, Sherry. It's horrible. Some small pockets are under a level 4. Say it's snowing here. It's snowing in sunny South Carolina too, about 29 degrees. Ella says, how did you meet Mr. Baby?
Oh, so I had a little blip where I was sober. It only lasted like maybe a month, but I was sober and I had gotten a job at a fruit bar factory where I lived up in Washington State with my mom, because she had brought me home after running away to Arkansas with some boys, and she only brought me home under the conditions that I would get clean, get a job, and be, a functioning adult. So I was pretending like I was going to do that. And he had been in Las Vegas and was kind of trying to fix his life and had the opportunity to go up to Washington State where I was, because there was a machine called the Flow Wrapper, and it was built by 3M in like Germany. and they needed like an engineer to come and teach them how to get this machine running. And so he took that job to get away from Vegas. And he is a little bit older than me, but that just didn't stop me. So there was a woman that was closer to his age that I was friends with, and she had like saw him and noticed him up there getting this machine running, and was like, I'm kind of into this dude, and he has an accent, and I don't know who he is, but she was super shy. And she was like, so do you think you could ask him if maybe he'll like take us out and we'll all go as a group or something? And I started talking to him, and his English accent, like I was just hooked. And so I was like, yeah, sorry, sorry about your luck. But we were both clean and sober at the time when we met. And then we just became like this force. So he had actually told me that I was too young. I was 24 at the time, and he was 40. And I invited myself to his hotel room, and I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care. And then we both relapsed together and went on a complete spree for like 7 years before getting clean together.
Wow.
And we're going into 17 years together now.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's not new.
So far, 3 friends and still many in the path. I was supposed to go to a dog show next weekend that has been canceled. But the place it was at is now an evacuation center. Wow. It's not snowing in New Hampshire. We only have about a foot of snow on the ground, far less than we should have. I know that. My husband and I moved from New Hampshire in October of 21. So, yeah. Some places had about 12 inches or more, made snow ice cream using keto chow. Interesting.
No, that was genius, Naomi. I'm impressed on that one.
That's pretty interesting. I typed that in that question agreeing with Kay, basically. Sorry I mentioned it too. Sorry we repeated yourself. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. And you definitely can reach out to me because I love to talk.
Rest of us are getting your snow, Rick. Oh, wow. Have you been out in it today? Stay warm and safe. I was out earlier before it all started. Rick, a foot, that's the norm, though, right? No, Debbie, not in New Hampshire. A foot is the drop in the bucket. We have a lot of dog lovers in this group. Can you share about your pup crew?
Absolutely. I love my dogs are my life. So because of all of the years of addiction, I decided not to have children. And plus my husband has children from previous relationships. He had a wife before me and didn't want more. So instead we have dogs together. So we have Nala, and she's our oldest. She's like 16 years old now. And then we have Bailey, who is a little long-haired mini doxy who was rescued off the streets of Las Vegas on Halloween night of 2022. And we had found his previous owners, and I was trying to reunite him because, he's a beautiful little purebred, and they would not come pick him up. And it was the weirdest thing. I tried to reunite for like 3 days before I just finally told him, I can't do this anymore. His long hair was completely matted up. He wasn't neutered. He, and he was really just so sweet, and I kept him. And like, this was Halloween 2022, and they still haven't tried to come get their dog. But it doesn't matter now because he's ours now. He's, I had him neutered and I keep him brushed. And I learned after the first week that he also has seizures. So I suspect that's why they kind of abandoned him on the streets. And
Wow.
I have been controlling his seizures through real food diet, no chemicals. I don't use any chemicals in my home. None of the care products or chemicals, and he eats. So Answer's brand is the one that I'm primarily feeding. Costs me about $60 a month, and I also cook for them. They have lean beef, and instead of like commercial dog treats, they just get a piece of cheese. because it's cheaper than the really fancy ones that are actually real food. Like when you get into high quality dog treats and products, you can spend a lot of money.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
found doing it on my own was a lot easier. And then Nala, so she had a seizure in, gosh, it was one massive seizure event, and I don't remember what year it is. She was like 12 years old when it happened, and it ended up being from pedigree dentistics. It was the craziest thing, and that's when my eyes really opened about the dog health with the food. And I had found so many other owners that were having the same experience. And so I quit, I only gave them to her like the one event, that when it happened the one time, and it was like 2 days that it happened for her, and it was insane, and never again. And she's never had any more seizures, but she's on real food now too. And yeah, she's my old lady girl. I love her. She basically raised me. That little one has been through hell and back with me. She went through addiction and recovery with me.
Wow.
So on
What name do you
Facebook,
use on Facebook? Keto Wang.
yeah, Keto Wang is my page, and then Elaina Wang is my profile, and it's just Wang, Wang. It's actually my maiden last name. It's Norwegian. And I get all of my worst addiction traits from the Wang side.
SCS is, can I join?
Yeah. So you can follow my Keto Wang page, and you can add me as a friend or follow me on Elaina Wang. If
I'll
you want
put
to join
your Keto
coaching,
Wang in the description.
huh?
I'll put a link to your Facebook page in the description of this when we're all done.
Perfect.
Okay, for Keto Wang.
Yeah. I will say, if you get on my Keto Wang page and you try to leave a comment, for anybody, if you're trying to comment and it's something that you're really trying to get my attention, you're better off just sending me a direct message, because I really suck at keeping up with all of the comments, especially because every now and then I'll have vegans come in and they really try to harass my keto page because it's at like 17,000 followers or something like that, or close
Right.
to. And so I don't engage with that, or I try not to. So if I'm not reading the comment section, just send me a message because I'll totally reply.
Okay. Yeah, I can attest to that. I saw her post this, that she was out of town on Facebook, and I reached out to her. I said, if you need to reschedule this, we can do that, because I saw she was out of town. Sherry says, I usually get 3 or 4 inches a couple of times. No snow yet this year. Got a foot last year. I am not a fan. I can't imagine it snowing much in Arizona. Deb Riley, I have not been out today, but going tomorrow for sure. And Rick replied, our snow used to be 3 to 4 feet deep at this point in the winter. I've had winters where the snow was 5 to 6 feet deep. Yep. Is that when you were a kid? We used to have real winters when I was a kid here in Kentucky. It's nothing like it was when I was a kid. Just a few years ago. That's right. Lynette is thoroughly enjoying this live. 2 amazing friends.
Love
Thank
you too,
you,
Lynette.
Yes, she is so special.
She is.
That was about 10 years ago, Debbie. Evelyn says, never got to meet you in person. What health conventions do you attend?
So I'm guaranteed to be at Hack Your Health like every year, because that's also a company that I coach with, is Hack Your Health Coaching. That's going to be in Tampa, November 2025. Anybody who wants to attend, you can get $100 off a 3-day pass with the code Keto Wang. It's going to be amazing. I will also be puppies. Maybe Mr. Baby might be home. We'll find out if the door opens. But I'm also going to be at COSI. So that's going to be here in Las Vegas. And that's just next month. It's like February 7th or 8th and 9th, something like that. But yeah, that's all I have planned this year, though. Hack Your Health, that's my main one. And it used to be KetoCon.
Right. My sister and I, we went to KetoCon, and we went to Hack Your Health last year.
Okay.
I I don't relish going to Florida in hurricane season though. So
So it's
that's
not going
like,
to be in hurricane season. It's going to be in November. So it's right
yeah,
at we're at the end of it. So it was going to be, they announced at Hack Your Health in Texas that it was going to be in like either August or September. And
right.
then because that's mid hurricane season, we went ahead and changed it to November to avoid all that mess.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
My sister said my old dachshund had seizures off and on. It was from Comfortus flea killer. She's had none since we stopped using it.
Isn't it crazy? Like, that's another reason that I need to live in the desert because I won't use those chemicals on my dogs.
Wow, no wonder Cindy moved to Kentucky, not too far from me. That's right. Got out of the snow, got out of the massive snow, got right back into a little bit. Found you and following you. That's
Fantastic.
James. Sadly, pedigree is the most widely used dog food worldwide. Excuse me, it's nothing but processed corn, poison, and is killing pups.
It sure is. And I have a big problem with it because these dogs are my children.
Yeah. It's terrible what that stuff did to your fur baby. Yeah. I said everyone thinks Arizona is always hot. Nope, I'm in the mountains, 3,500 feet. It's only 48 degrees right now. We'll get down into the 20s at night. Woo! Rick, gotcha. 10 years seems like yesterday to me. Time goes way too fast. And Lynette says, I may end up at both COSI and Hack Your Health.
I hope so, Lynette. I want to see you. Like, let's hang out. So I'm not working COSI. I'll be sitting. I bought Mr. Baby a ticket so that I could drag him along to sit with me because I don't think I've ever like went to a conference by myself, like, and wasn't working. So I was like, this is gonna be awkward. So I'm gonna try and drag him along, but there's zero chance he's gonna stay all day on both days. He's not that interested. So yeah, come sit with me, Lynette.
Naomi can get a lot of snow up in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's up in the higher elevation. Evans, what's your favorite flavor keto chow and favorite way to make it?
See, this is where I struggle because I love all the flavors of keto chow when I'm like at the booth and I'm trying them all. And then I come home and I have like I use the ones that I have, and I think the core line is my favorite, but that's more because of the ingredients aspect of it. But I don't make any of the fun stuff at home because I live in an RV. I don't do a lot of recipes or creating. I keep things very simple. So I absolutely loved the keto chow pistachio just as a shake. Was it the raspberry cheesecake? Oh my God, like that one has my heart. But still, I just did the shake. I wasn't creating anything. There was years ago that I think I used it was either the raspberry cheesecake or a cherry something or other. This was before I even moved to Vegas. And I used that in a recipe at my parents' house and made like a cheesecake with it. So like the flavored cheesecake. And I thought that was absolutely fabulous. But like my mom has the KitchenAid and all of that stuff, so I could do it. I don't own any of that living in an RV. So when I'm at home, it's just the shakes. I haven't really found a flavor of keto chow that I disliked, to be honest. I'm not sure that one exists out there. I even really enjoyed the savory soups there for a minute. The savory soups are awesome. And those kind of fit in with my lifestyle because if I want a savory soup, like boom, there's a soup base, no problem.
Right. I have such a stock of keto chow that it's crazy. And you mentioned the two flavors that I have a creamy in my freezer of the pistachio and the raspberry cheesecake. Lynette, is anyone going to the Arizona meetup in March? Didn't know about it. So
I had heard about it, but I
not.
don't think I'm going to. It's just, yeah, I have a cruise in April. So in March, I think I'm just going to stay home.
My crazy arse dogs are still swimming every chance they can get in 40-degree weather. Woo! I will totally sit with you at Coastside.
Fantastic. Now I won't feel so awkward.
Sherry says the potato soup is the bomb. If you have more, Cindy, I will take it. I don't know. I had sent her some keto chow. She hadn't tried it. She couldn't afford it. And I
Yeah.
had a lot. And I sent her a box of various flavors. And, ooh, man. It's
See, I
good
need to
stuff.
get my biological sister up in Washington. I need to get her on it. I should tell my mom and be like, just order her these because she's trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life now as far as health wise. She just messaged me yesterday and she's like, what do you think of muscle milk? And I'm like, man, I should just tell my mom, buy her keto chow.
Yeah. Yes. Other than just eating whole foods, it helps when you have that sweet tooth for sure.
Yeah.
It helps you stay on track.
I think her biggest issue is she's looking for something that she can just grab quickly and drink instead of trying to prepare whole foods. I don't know.
Right.
We don't have a super close relationship, but I love that she's reaching out to me right now because she's ready to start trying to get healthy. Like maybe we can grow something from there. So if you're watching Mitchie, Keto Chow, keep going.
That's great. I'm glad I could help you, Sherry. I don't know if it was a help or a hindrance getting you started with keto chow because it's so good. This afternoon, I had a chocolate core shake, but those are good.
Yeah, I love the core line. The ingredients on that, they're just right up my alley.
That is better than the crap and sure they're feeding people in nursing homes. Oh my God, don't even get me started on what's in the nursing homes. Jeez. Just that whole live stream we did about um, dementia and Alzheimer's. Both of my
Yeah.
in-laws were in separate nursing homes, and one is no better than the other on what they're giving these people. It's a crying shame. And knowing that these diseases are type 3 diabetes, it's like,
Mhm.
wake up, people.
Yeah,
Wake
they're
up.
literally feeding the disease and making it worse, the
Mm-hmm.
progression. It's super
Yeah,
sad.
it's hard. It's hard. And it doesn't help that family members are bringing them, even our family members, uh, we're bringing them junk food to eat. And I'm like,
Mhm.
stop doing that. But they wouldn't listen. So,
A common excuse is, well, they're this age, they can eat whatever they want. I
oh,
hate that one with my friend coach. That like he has, it's just like, no, it's not. Obviously, some things to a certain extent, let the man eat, let him have a treat, but let's not feed him foods that are going to drive his health issues.
oh, I had a good one last night. Now I have some, I like Chalk Zero. People know this. And I have some of the sandwich cookies that are the chocolate outside and the mint inside, almost like Oreos, but they're Chalk Zero products. I took some to the bowling alley with me last night, and the lady that we bowl with, I said, "Here, I brought us something." She said, "Are they that keto stuff?" She said, "I don't want any of that." But at our bowling party, I had brought some. She didn't know I brought them. She's sitting there eating them.
Eating that keto stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty wild last night. I'm like, okay. I know it's no hindrance at all. I'm very disciplined. That's great because it's not going to hurt you anyway. That's the product. That's the one thing. So yeah, if you obviously you have a lot to talk with the people about that would come to you and ask for your advice with doing coaching and everything. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. What would you tell somebody that would just be getting started on keto? What's the first thing you would tell them to do? Suggest that they do.
The very first thing. So the hardest part about that is it's hard to give a blanket statement. So when I'm approached by somebody who's like literally just fresh, ready to start, wanting to know what to do, it's more like, okay, let's discuss where you're at, what you're currently doing, and what's going to be the first logical step. So for some people, the first logical step is, okay, we're going to get rid of the sugar. For other people, the first logical step, there's the Mr. Baby, is to get rid of the bread. He's going to get them cheese and then they'll quit barking. This is their ritual. So get rid of the bread. And then you have some people who are ready to go gung-ho and they're like, let's just get rid of it all. And that's amazing. There are some that need like the baby steps. So if I can get somebody to give up sugar, but they still need something sweet, so then they have like the stevias and stuff, that's awesome. And then wean them off of the bread. It's more about where a person is with their comfort level, how confident they are, and what they're ready for. So if you're ready to go gung-ho and do it all, rip that Band-Aid off. Like, do it all. Don't let that statement hold you back that you can baby step it. Just do it. But if you're the type that needs to go slow, start with the one thing that feels most comfortable for you to give up. And don't switch your soda over to diet soda. That is one blanket statement that I can say. So the people who take the regular soda and then they start drinking the diet soda, like I have never seen addiction take such a stronghold as diet soda. It is insane. Like these, she's like, here.
But in my defense, I've been drinking diet soda since I was a teenager.
Yeah, it's insane how addictive diet soda is. It blows my mind.
I didn't switch to it, and I gave it up. I did beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for 31 days without any soda. I've never given up my diet soda other than then throughout my keto journey. And
what made you add it back after 31 days?
I missed it. I wanted it. That's all. I didn't have to have it. I wanted it.
Yeah, it's the addiction. It is so strong and it's crazy. So Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, those two seem to be like the biggest, most addictive soda substances that exist in this world. And it fascinates me, but at the same time, it makes me really sad because like I want to know what about those particular two. Like, is yours Diet Coke?
Nope.
Which one is yours?
Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi. Yeah, I wish that I knew like what it is about them that keeps people so hooked because it fascinates me big time.
I don't drink coffee. I don't drink tea. I drink water. I got water. But that's my drink of choice.
You just want it. It's crazy. It's the psychological aspect I think that fascinates me the most.
Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, I feel like I went cold turkey. I went straight on keto, straight up strict keto when I started September 2020.
Yeah.
20 total carbs or less. Didn't touch anything sweet for at least 3 months. Still had my Diet Pepsi though.
Yeah.
And in 22 months, I lost 100 pounds.
And that's amazing.
And kept it off. So, I was like giving up everything else. And there's a lot of stuff I really, really like. Obviously, it got me to almost 300 pounds. I probably will never give up my diet soda.
Yeah, it makes it really justifiable. So because it has no carbs and because people, some people can't lose weight while incorporating it, but many still do. And so it makes it super easy to just continuously justify. But the stronghold that the diet sodas have on people and their mind, It's fascinating to me. It really is. And I've drank diet soda. So when before I started keto, I was like chugging 2 liters of soda daily. I always had one like next to me, and that's all I drank. I didn't drink water. And for a brief moment, I started drinking some diet soda, but I didn't like the way it tastes. It wasn't sugar. And so I didn't get quite hooked on it, but I've seen so many over the years that go from drinking regular soda to diet soda, and then all of a sudden they cannot give up the diet soda. And I'm like, this is just fascinating to me.
Yeah, I said I didn't have any problem for the 31 days. So it was fine. I just wanted it, and that was it. No, it's doing it. Okay, we already saw that one. Fat is where the flavor is. Sometimes. I can never make a conference in November. Can't get away from work. If anything, it fills me up so much, then I am not eating enough. Yeah, I don't drink while I'm eating, so that doesn't happen. Next time you tell her that she is eating on that keto stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that she won't ever trust me again. She won't touch anything on the food table thinking I brought it. Case I quit diet drinks in May when I started carnivore. Got COVID a few weeks ago, and I associated crackers and Sprite with sickness. So it's been terrible trying to get off them and back on track. You can do it.
You can. I believe in you, Kay.
I won't be able to make it to any of the conferences this year. KPL would have been my first last year, but it's not going to happen this year, so I missed out. Maybe 2026 something will work out for me. Yep. Carnivore K, I like the ginger ale from Zevia and bone broth when I'm sick. There you
I
go,
saw a
Katie.
salted caramel Zevia. One of my clients actually found it. I haven't seen it yet, but that is one that I do want to try. Is the salted caramel Zevia. The Zevia.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the sparkling waters. I've had bubbly, I've had Waterloo, I've had Zevia, I've had so many of them. I don't have a problem with those either. I've never drank soda in my life. It's the carbonation. I do drink coffee and tea and will never give up my creamer. I don't care what is in it. Yeah. So yeah, that's the one thing that I just won't. It's like
I haven't quite found my one thing yet. I still drink coffee, but I have drastically reduced it, and I drink black coffee. I love black coffee. I'm like, don't mess with my black coffee in the morning. Don't put creamer in it. Don't put stuff in it. Anything that has stuff in it is like a treat. And of course, we have Starburst Parlor here in Vegas, which is fantastic, super clean. Love the owner, and she'll make me a fancy coffee sometimes with stuff in it. But yeah, I haven't found the one thing. If I really needed to give up the coffee, I think I could do it, because there are days where I just end up busy and I don't drink it and it's cold, and then it's time for me to wash the cup because I try not to drink it in the afternoon. So I just go without it, and I'm like, okay. Herbal teas. I'm super into herbal teas. I really love them a lot. That one would be hard to give up. Water. There we go. Water is the one thing that I will never give up.
that's good. That's good.
We all got to have something.
That's right. She's feeling some better. Love my sparkling water. And for me, it has worked for 20 years, Sherry. I've been making full recovery, Kay. Yes. At least I'm still not there with enjoying sparkling water. I've tried different ones. It's just it's an acquired taste for sure. Thanks, Debbie. Just like diet soda is an acquired taste. It's like I don't even remember. And I know I did drink regular soda when I was a kid, but not a lot of it because there wasn't a lot in the house. But I can remember drinking diet sodas from the time I was, like I said, a teenager. And we're talking 50 years ago now.
Yeah,
So,
my mom was a Diet Pepsi drinker. So growing up, my mom constantly was drinking Diet Pepsi. She doesn't now. She had kind of gave that up. My mom actually, I got her to go keto with me for a few years. She's not so much now, but she didn't bring back her soda.
my sister, she can't stand any of the sparkling waters. She can't stand the electrolytes because it's too salty.
Oh no!
Yeah, she's the one that got me started on keto. My sister Deb, and she just neither. You know, I don't do a lot of electrolytes either. I never did get the keto flu. I never had an issue even going strict from SAD to strict keto. Never got sick. Nothing bothers me. It's like after doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, they say reintroduce things slowly. I ate whatever I wanted to, and nothing bothers me. I've been
So you
listening
have
and
a healthy
saying,
gut and a healthy microbiome. That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing.
I've been listening and been saying, wow, a lot tonight. You're an inspiration. Look forward to hearing more about you. I'm also wanting to learn more without actually going to a class.
Shoot me your questions. It's like we've went over a lot of different random little blips and topics. So, shoot me your questions. I've taken a lot of classes. I've read a lot of books, and I like to share.
Yeah. To me, it would only be good if you left it on the counter all day so it will go flat. No. Then it never lasts that long for me. As soon as you say there's something you refuse to give up, someone may come along and challenge you. I'm addicted to flavored coffees. I use them as a dessert. All right, Evelyn, you give up your coffee. I'll give up my diet soda. How about that? Because I know it ain't going to happen. I'd be like telling Dustin to give up his coffee.
Hazelnut coffee. Hazelnut coffee was like a thing for me for quite a while. No, not nowadays. Every now and then I'll get a flavored coffee, but yeah.
Deb and I are kindred sisters. Aspartame brings on migraines for me, so no diet soda other than Zevia for me. Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Be careful what you say, Andy. We may have a test later. Oh, she hesitated on the no. I'm telling you, and I have cut back because I found myself there for a while. As I'm retired, I have been for, I don't know, a long time now. And I found myself one can after the other. And I finally got to put the brakes on it a little bit. But
well, that was good. At least you recognized it and you did something about it all on your own. That's something to be proud of.
Oh, yeah. I'm the same way with flavored coffee, Evelyn. Evelyn and I are in debt to Bones Coffee Company. Brian has some too. I blame that on Robin and Callie. They talked about the Bones Coffee on a live stream. Two Queens Go Keto. And Brian started it. He likes it. I've done it for a time, but I enjoy them. It's a battle with mental and physical health. I drink coffee for my mental health. Oh, what a cutie.
So this is Bailey. This is a little Doxy that was rescued off the streets, and he's my little man.
He's cute.
Yeah, he just came in and he says, "Mom, where's my dinner? It's dinner time. Dad's home."
What's your drink of choice? Asking my sister. She likes Diet Coke, but I don't over drink it because some days it bothers my stomach. I like the Elaina new energy drinks. Peach is my favorite, but I'll drink any. Yeah, I drink an Elaina every morning.
I've seen
one
those
a day
in
the morning.
I haven't tried them.
They're really good. They have like peach flavor. They have oh my goodness. All different ones is now they had a winter batch out, like I get them from Costco, and there's 18 to a case.
Okay.
And I just had the winter batch, and there's a cherry flavor, something. What the heck is it? I can't even remember what it's called. But they have a cosmic stardust flavor. There's all different ones. They're really, I like them a lot. It's a heck of a lot of caffeine, though. I have my coffee with Coco Loco Salty.
So that's actually really good. I have put the Coco Loco Salty in the coffee, and I do enjoy that. I also like the caramel salty one in coffee. I can't find any other use for those two particular flavors other than coffee, because if you try to put them in water, I can't. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, some people do. They'll put the Coco Loco in warm water for like a hot cocoa.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Yeah. Living in the desert, though, I don't do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. I need to make my own sugar-free vanilla creamer. Ah, puppy. I grew up with a Doxy.
Doxies are so special.
I'll drink Diet Pepsi and Diet Dr. Pepper occasionally, too. I'm not hooked on them, though. Well, if they bother your stomach, I wouldn't drink them at all. I think what I remember is the guilt versus the praise. You'd rather hear praise at a success than the guilt from a failure.
Yep.
I'm doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs right now. My sweet cravings are sometimes crazy bad.
So when sweet cravings are crazy bad, one thing that I've had success with helping clients through those is to go for something salty. So when the sweet craving hits, especially with the BBBE approach, go grab a piece of bacon. Like even if you're snacking per se, I know we're not supposed to snack, but if you're white knuckling it, go get some bacon. That salty meat with the fat and the protein is going to help you a lot. It also helps you to kind of retrain your brain into which direction you're going to go when you're having that craving. And it can be really powerful.
Right. Deb said I drank lots of plain water, all kinds of teas, a little diet soda. I've cut way down on it. Caffeine is not my friend. See, we're truly sisters. She doesn't like coffee either. If I need to drink more water, I've always had a battle with getting enough water in. Did you just see me just have a squirrel moment? She showed a dog.
I had the same moment when I saw Nevada Pup, so we're equal, Sherry.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we've been at this almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there any last words you would want to say to anybody listening, everybody? If you know anybody that will get any use out of this, go ahead and share it.
Yeah, if anybody who has questions, if you want to chat with me, if you want to talk to me, again, just reach out to me, send me a message. I love to talk. If you want some help and you need some coaching or some trauma help or peptide help, whatever, obviously that's my full-time job. I used to also work the resort and I quit in June 2024 to become a full-time health, wellness, trauma peptide coach. I kind of, bundle that all into one, but mostly you guys just keep going. Like if you stumble, don't even beat yourself up. Really just keep going. We just need more people out in the world, really passing the word along, getting healthy, no matter what that looks like for you. Don't let anybody tell you that your health journey is wrong.
Even with my Diet Pepsi.
You lost 100 pounds. It's working for you. I mean, the addiction aspect, the psychology aspect, it fascinates me, but who am I to tell you that you're wrong? Really, and that's kind of the approach I take with people when I work with them is, hey, you know you better than I do. So I might have opinions and I might have thoughts and I might have advice, but I don't know you as well as you do, and it's your body, and I literally preach to people to listen to their body. So who am I to tell you what your body is feeling?
Andy, how long does it take for the sugar cravings to go away on beef, butter, bacon, and eggs? I've never done that challenge, successfully yet? I think without Andy answering that, any challenge, anything you challenge yourself with, you've got to have it. Even doing keto, my understanding, my experience, you have to have the right mindset to get it done, to be successful, and to keep it sustainable. However that looks like for you, that's what you got to do.
Well, and
so
if you
having the
hyper-focus
right
on,
mindset,
okay, how long before this goes away, then you're going to wake up every day focused on, so has this gone away? And that's going to actually prolong your cravings, because instead of retracing the direction your brain is going, you're reinforcing that craving problem every single day.
Yep. Evelyn says, thank you so much. This was a great, informative live. Thank you both. Good night. And Kay, I hope you get to feeling way better. Way better. Bye, friends. You mentioned trauma. I will be reaching out to you.
I will be here.
That's James. I would rather have an Alani than coffee. I do like a cold brew, keto style occasionally if my stomach will allow it. She has Debbie, I forget what it's called. She had her gallbladder removed a while back, and a lot of things bother her stomach. A lot.
Okay, so some digestive issues.
Mm-hmm. It's only 30 days. I'm looking forward to eating chicken again. He can say hi.
Oh, he was getting the dog's leash to put it away.
Great conversation. Thanks.
Say hi, Miss Baby.
Hi, Miss
Wave.
Good
night, Kay and Evelyn. Good night, Debbie. Well, Elaina, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody spending Friday nights with me, with us. And thank all of my members here. I can't even thank you guys enough.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Evelyn, there you go.
Thank you, Evelyn, for recommending me.
Yes, since then I have joined all your pages because I had never, honestly, I never had seen Keto Wang, Elaina Wang anywhere. And Evelyn, I had asked on my support page on Facebook if anybody had any recommendations, or anybody wanted to see anybody, and she came up with your name. I reached out to you, and right away it was like, yes.
Yeah, I'd love to talk.
I really appreciate that.
I'll talk anytime.
Hoping to meet you someday, Evelyn said.
I hope to meet you as well. And you know, if you cross paths with me, make sure you come up to me, be ready to give me a hug, tell me who you are. You know, I'm always down to meet the people in my computer.
Oh, when you meet Evelyn, you will absolutely know. She is the most outgoing person. So friendly. And will make you a friendship bracelet right off the bat.
So we're going to hit it off like that.
Right. She's amazing. She is one amazing lady. But anyway, everybody have a great night. Elaina, thank you again.
Thank you.
And
I'm going to go cook some dinner, and happy Friday.
You too. Have a great one.
Good night.
Good night.